Hey guys, and welcome back to Bold and Abroad. I am so sorry that I am late with posting. You know, my goal is to upload at least 2 videos a week, but I went home kind of spur of the moment for Thanksgiving, got to spend 4 or 5 days with family, and now I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. So while I'm back, I thought today would be a great day to do a house tour of my home here in Merida. So when I talk about why Merida is a good place, I think, for single moms to move abroad, one of the main focuses is affordability, and that usually translates into many components, right? So from your housing costs to your services, such as like housekeeper, nanny, personal driver, chef, schools are more affordable here. Just kind of your day-to-day shopping is more affordable here. I figured just kind of a house tour would be a good place just for you to get an idea of like what you can get in Merida, Mexico, where, and for how much. So in this video, I'll be going through showing you my house, showing you the changes that I was going to make, letting you know how much it costs, you know, how to rent, what is expected when you're renting, just kind of all of the things related to houses. So this is my home in Merida, Mexico. She is so cute. She's brand new. We were the first people to live here. And so, yeah, we've kind of made it home for now. So when we first moved in here, obviously these plants and bushes weren't here. I'm trying to capture it all for you. It was just kind of a patch of dirt and some spotty grass that I went in and had some guys lay down. I came up with this concept myself. You know, they were babies when we first got them, but now look at them. You see my trash can on the curb there. Something to be aware of, Merida trash services run 3 times a week. In my neighborhood, it is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you don't have to worry about trash piling up. Look at my sweet penny girl. There are our lovely aloe vera plants that my son wanted. This is the one we grew from a baby. This is the one the neighbor actually gave to us. It's just kind of a welcome gift. It's actually dead when we first got it, and we have nursed it back to life. She looks a little sad right now, just because the weather has been colder here. So I'm hoping she will, you know, just kind of lifen back up. This plant here is dying. It originally had flowers, put it in the ground, kind of died over time, and so I just pulled it out. So welcome to mi casa. And y'all don't mind the walls. I have children, so they do children things. So this is my house. My dog is, of course, chasing her tail.
What? Oh my God!
Again, it is lovely. I think it's cute. It's just big enough for us. This place came semi-furnished when we first moved in here. It had the 4 bar stools, and then it had a different couch, which I replaced with this couch here, which I love. It has a middle piece too. Couch this size, kind of custom made, cost me $600 USD. TV was on sale for $200, just so you can get a cost of how much things cost here. Got this table off of Facebook Marketplace. My kids, of course, painted and everything else on it, but it was $150, 200 bucks. Washing machine I paid for was $150. Let's see what else. Kitchen. So one thing to know about Mexico is if your place comes unfurnished, that also can mean no refrigerator, no stove, no oven, no microwave. So just something to keep in mind while you are looking for housing. If it's furnished, it usually comes with all of that. I prefer unfurnished because to me, to make a home feel like mine, where me and my kids can just like get settled, it has to have our stuff in it. We have to be able to decorate it the way that we want to. Hey, sweet boy. So here is the bathroom. I did want to change this to a glass shower case, but again, I'm moving, so I won't be doing that. Here is my bedroom. There's that middle piece to the couch, but just so you guys can kind of see size. So in my room, what I wanted to do was add a closet, and I was quoted about $50 to just kind of close that. I'm just gonna turn around here because, well, let me flip it. To like close this open area in, it was gonna cost me $50 a closet to do that. Now, something else to note with renting in Merida is your landlord is not responsible for any changes that you decide to make. Right? They're not responsible for if things break. Like, that is on you typically after the first 30 days. And so they usually have a clause in there, like if you make any changes to the house, any upgrades, right? For you to leave those upgrades here. Now, obviously that's up to you. They don't know what's going on inside of your home, but it is written in the lease. It is also written in the lease that after the first 30 days, any damages, like, I don't know, you need a plumber, the toilet's leaking, your stove stops working, the hot water goes out, you are responsible for funding those things. And so I know a lot of expats were just kind of taken aback by that of like, what, I have to pay for these things? Like, yes, after 30 days, that's up to you. So definitely go through your house when you first move here, check for everything. I'm talking windows, is there a hose in the backyard? You know, turn on all the faucets, make sure the water runs properly. Does it get hot? How long does it get hot? Anything that you need within those first 30 days so that the landlord can take care of it. Something else I wanted to add about just services with you having to take care of them and fix things in the house is that these things are really affordable. So again, you know, pro versus con. Affordable rent, but you may have to, you know, maintain the house. And so what I mean by affordable, I had a guy come and take a look at my sink. It was leaking. He needed to change a part. My toilet upstairs started leaking, so he needed to put some like glue down. Cost $15 for that visit. One time the electricity went out, had to call the same guy to come like change the line as well as take a look at my hot water heater. Cost me 20 bucks. And so again, it's not expensive. Something to note is that with the heat here in Merida, upkeep on homes do require a little bit more work, right? So, I mean, I've read in these groups of people who own homes and like, oh my God, I've had to have the roof changed twice in the first 5 years that I bought the home. It's like, yeah, the heat here can be brutal and it does wear and tear on things. So I do think that, you know, one of the reasons for that is they kind of offset that, you know, the homeowners by passing that expense down to the renter. So again, something for you to keep in mind.
Okay.
So I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit here in my backyard. It does wrap around to the other side. As you can see, my clothes are hanging. It does get super hot here in Merida, and so this is a good way to dry your clothes without having to buy a dryer. They do sell dryers here. They do sell washing machines here. I know somebody asked me that once before, but this is how many of the locals do it. So now I'm gonna take you up my steps real quick.
2 hours later.
So I am currently upstairs and I will give you a little bit of a tour up here too. 2 rooms I did up top. Master bedroom is given to my daughter. Offered it to my son since he's older, but he declined. I took the room downstairs just for safety purposes. I can just like hear whatever's going on. You know, somebody try to break in, whatever. I'm there to hear everything. But let me show you what the master bedroom, other bedroom and bathroom look like. So here is my daughter's room. And again, this would have been the master bedroom. And so it comes with 2 closets that I was gonna close in. The bedroom that they don't use because they're always in my room. Across the hall is my son's bedroom. And don't mind the poster hanging down. I gotta get some more tape and all of his lovely stuff.
Nice.
Just so you know, in terms of services, how much things cost, I wanted to paint the wall behind my TV green, as well as the wall behind my dining room, just like 2 accent walls. And I was quoted $50 to paint both, and that included cost of supplies as well. Now, one thing to note about here in Mexico is they do move on island time. And what that usually means is they kind of show up when they show up, right? So unfortunately, the person that I did hire kind of rescheduled or canceled twice. And so now I'm looking for someone else to do it. That is not out of the ordinary here. That's probably more normal than not. So again, it's just one of those adjustments I feel like you have to get used to while living here of like, oh, things may not come on time. Oh, I may not get this done when I want it. And so this is one of those things. For this home, I pay about 580 USD a month. So about 12,000 pesos right now with the exchange. And again, this is on the outskirts of town. It's kind of like the suburbs, a little bit of what I would consider like the country where I'm from. And so not in the city, outside the city, where you get a little bit more space, it's a little bit more affordable and a little quieter. All right, so now that I've sweated out my silk press, just kind of walking around giving you guys a tour, I am back at my table. I'm here hanging out with the Grinch. My kids made this for Coco. They are waiting on our elf on the shelf to re-arrive this year. Mom was a little late, but he's coming. I thought I would just kind of get into certain areas of town that I would recommend for you to live. Where's the most affordable, where are things happening, just all around covering housing. So if you're looking for the most affordable area to live, that would probably be South Merida. So for a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you probably can find one starting at $300, $400 USD. South Merida is where I've had some of the best tacos since I've been in Merida. It does, I don't want to say require a car. It is walkable, probably not as walkable as Centro. So if you have a car, it can be convenient, but you get a lot of lands for a decent price in this part of town. Second area is my favorite. If I could live anywhere in Merida, it would be Centro. So Centro, well, before I get into Centro, Mexico in general, I tell people is like the place where you can live the most affordable all the way up to the most luxury. And I feel like Centro is a really good mix of that. You can find really good affordable homes here, and you can also find like really nice colonial lavish homes here. And so these homes start at probably around 600 USD on up. Again, you can probably find cheaper homes, especially word of mouth, things like that, if you just ride around for rent signs. But I usually go through Facebook Marketplace or realtors, and typically this is what you're looking at in that cost range. Centro has everything. It's really walkable, really good food. It is noisy, right? I like the noise. I'm a city girl. Lots happening. It's a really good tourist area. So your farmers markets are there, big, nice parks. I mean, everything is in Centro. So I would recommend it. Next part is the north of Merida, and this is where a lot of your expat immigrants and like wealthier locals live. And this includes areas like Altabrisa, Montebello, Montejo, De Ami. So if you're riding around, you're like, okay, what neighborhoods do I want to live in? This is considered North Merida. This is where you get a lot of your like box malls. So Adidas, Pumas, I think I saw a Rolex store, Sears, Macy's, GameStop, right? Like all of these big store or brand names are located in the north. And so, for a 3-bedroom, a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you're probably looking around 800 USD on up. And I would say that's closer to the $1,000 mark and above than below. And so again, you can find them, but for the average, I would say that's where it is. Lastly is outside of the Periférico, which is outside of the city, which is where I live. So this is more of your suburbs, or what I would consider like country living, right? So again, you get a lot of land for a lower price. You do have to commute a little bit further. It's not as walkable. Still have like grocery stores, you can still find your like local shops, but it's just not as like convenient in other parts of the city where it's like house, restaurant, house, grocery store. It's like, no, it's like spread further out. It is a lot quieter out here. Again, I'm not a big fan of the suburbs. I'm not a big fan of the country, but it is affordable typically when you live on the outskirts. So again, my 3-bedroom house is like $580. People are saying that is what it should be in this part of town. And so that's neighborhoods like Las Americas 2 all the way onwards, Gran San Pedro Cholul, Concal, Cosel, these are areas, and excuse me if I'm pronouncing them wrong, but these are areas that I would look for if I'm looking for more land, if I'm looking for something a little bit more affordable, more suburban outside of the city. When we're talking about outside of the city as well, there are a few like wealthier areas that come to mind. Tezamon is one of them. And then you have like the country club, which is, maybe $1,200, $1,300 US on up to rent. Tezamon is kind of new, up and coming, but it's still in that $1,000 range. Really modern homes, not your traditional Mexican homes. And so just keep that in mind. It depends on what you're looking for. I like more traditional homes with a modern twist. And so you're not finding that in these newer built homes. To rent in Mexico, just something for you to keep in mind. You will need First month's rent, 2 deposits or an AVAL, and then you do have to pay the contract fee. And so an AVAL is basically a guarantor, someone who lives in Merida who can vouch for you. They have to own property. They can sign, that if you don't pay, they'll be responsible. You won't have anyone with that, so you will pay 2 months deposit. What a lot of people try to do is use that 2 deposits that they pay as like the last 2 months worth of rent on their lease. Sometimes, landlords will go with it. Other times they will not. So that's definitely something for you to discuss. You can negotiate this. Like I paid a month and a half versus 2 months to be able to move in here, and that worked for me. They also have those lovely contract fees, which to me has typically been the equivalent of half a month's worth of rent. Now that to me is high. It wasn't like this back when I lived in 2022. Some people argue like, it's just a way to increase money. Definitely check the paperwork if that's something, you're like, oh no, I don't want to pay that. When I was looking to rent in Playa del Carmen, the contract fees were not half the rent. It was like 150 USD. Now they're getting up into the hundreds here in Merida. So again, something to keep in mind. I will say this like AVAL fee, I just wanted to comment on that, is kind of only used here in Merida. Not saying that people don't have them. I know Mexico City requests or asks for one, but I will say 2 deposits is not the norm across Mexico. Like if you're renting in Mexico City, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, it's usually 1 month's deposit and then the first month's rent. So, and there are other areas if you're like, oh no, I don't really like that, you can go, and that is not the norm here. I hope that I have covered everything that you need in order to rent here in Merida, giving you, a good picture of the city, where to live, how much things cost, and so on and so forth. And so my next video, I'll get into cost of just like schooling, how much it costs to have a nanny, a housekeeper, where you can find one, all of those sorts of things needed to be able to help, I think, a single mom just kind of get acclimated to living abroad. If you have any questions, if you want more information, please comment down below and I'll make sure to post it in the next video. See you soon. Bye.